Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Amechi and Wednesday morning here in the nation's capital. Later on in the evening, you'll be watching us on AIT Abuja and AIT International. But our YouTube address is still there. At any time you wish, you make a recourse to it. Several issues breaking out 24 hours, less than to the Osun supplementary elections. But the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC, the two central labor organizations in Nigeria, have said they will be going on warning strike to impress it on the government on the need to quickly reconvene the tripartite committee meeting of the committee that is looking into ways of indeed working out a new minimum wage for workers in the country. They said the abrupt way the Minister of Labour and Employment ordered the committee to stay action is one they're not comfortable with. We'll be linking up with Uche Ekwe, head of International Department of the Nigerian Labour Congress, for, of course, more on this planned industrial action by the Labour Union. Now, the PDP has asked INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu to resign. Not just him alone, the National Commissioner Amina Zakari, the woman the PDP alleges is a blood relative of President Muhammad Buhari, to also follow suit. They said the role they played in the Osun governorship election, which they believe was tilted, designed to favor the APC. Will be having a PDP spokesperson on this program, Kola Olobondiyan, and also be getting the perspective of someone who will be seeing it differently. Lester Wilcox will also be bringing him into the program. If we have time, we'll take you as usual to Osogbo, Osun State for update. Man Adebo Abodore is still very much on ground. For want of time, we may not be going into some other stories that are hot this morning. The arrest of the ADC to Aisha Buhari over an allegation of 2.5 billion naira extortion from people in government. The First Lady was forced to issue, wife of the President was forced to issue a statement yesterday saying she did not, as reported by some dailies, order the police to arrest her. That the police took the action on their own when they discovered that the aide-de-camp, the police man usually behind the wife of the President, goes around, according to her, and the police soliciting for funds from people in the name of the wife of the President. Now, much maybe on another day on this program, we'll tell you how those around the President, those around the powerhouse, that sort of presidential villa, do take advantage of it. But the family members are saying it's all a big lie. There is a move to edge him out of that position, that some reports say only 30,000 naira was found in his bank account and over 1,000 found in his home when it was raided, points to the fact that the man may be indeed innocent. My colleagues is here with me, Mustafa Mohammed. Welcome to Political Platform.
Thank you very much. The internal crisis in the APC continues to, brew in so many states. Amechi, I can tell you that in Zamfara State, where the governor has anointed his commissioner for finance, the state citizens are disagreeing with that, and I can tell you during the election that may be a factor. In Yobe, the choice of Mai Malabuni, the national secretary of the APC, is still tested with a pinch of salt by the APC members in the state. They are saying, why should a governor anoint somebody when the terrain should be free and fair? In Borno State, my state where I came from, I left Maiduguri 2 days ago. Amechi, you have more than 26 governorship aspirants, and the state governor Kashim is being accused of sponsoring so many, so that eventually they will narrow down to whom they want. But I can tell you that the Kashim has not, responded to that allegation. In Nasarawa State, here the campaign team of A.A. Sule, the immediate path group managing director of Dangote group, is saying that it's not true Al-Makura has anointed him as the successor, and that the choice of the candidate for Nasarawa North this time around is the people's choice. They issued a statement yesterday at their campaign office in Apple here. Indeed, we continue to hear so many controversies as regards the internal crisis of either anointing or direct and indirect primaries.
Also with us in the studio is Shola Jaisimi.
Well, I'll begin from what President Muhammadu Buhari said when he addressed the UN General Assembly yesterday. For the period he spoke, he touched on key areas which he felt were of concern to him as the leader of Nigeria, how he's trying to ensure corruption is brought to the barest minimum, how he's fighting it. But there was something he said which some people are already talking about, that he said, look, internationally, globally, we must make efforts, addressing the global community now, to guard against the killings, persecutions of the Rohingya in Myanmar. But some immediately pointed back and said, but sir, in your own country, killings are going on, and what has been done or what should be done. So, the back and forth about the president's address to the global community. So, the president will be there, and he has spoken to the global community. Whether the global community,
third session of the
UN General Assembly, whether they will buy in, because I tried to compare, with all modesty, to what President Trump said. He spoke about how his own country, the US, is taking his destiny in his own hands. He knocked globalism and said, look, it's patriotism that my administration will follow up on.
Okay, our friend and colleague, a member of the PDP, Chief Press Secretary to Delta State Governor, is still very much around. Welcome.
Are you very sure I'm a member of the PDP?
Yeah, member, you'll be voting, you're a delegate. During the indirect primaries, you'll be voting.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. For me, I think I'm much more interested in the issue you raised with respect to the payment of salaries vis-a-vis the position of the Nigeria Labour Congress. I think it will be better for the NLC and indeed Labour leaders to be much more interested in the value of the Naira in the hand of the worker than the quantity of the Naira in the hand of the worker. I've said it before now, that it's important for Labour leaders to impress it upon those in authority to first of all reduce the amount of money that we are paying to those who are occupying political offices. When you reduce it, possibly the value of the Naira will go up, because when you go to the market woman does not ask you your profession before he tells you the price. She tells you the price of what she's selling. If we're able to use the same strength that they are deploying to ask for salary increase in minimum wage, to ensure that those who are in offices make sure the Naira has value, that will be better. Because once upon a time, people were paid less than 3,000 Naira in this country. And I do know, because I was also around at that time, that people's standard of living was better then with 3,000 Naira and less than what it is today. So it's not about 100,000 minimum, 50,000 minimum, but about the quality. Otherwise, inflation will still eat it up and will now begin to ask for 200,000 Naira minimum.
Okay, we'll now take a break, after which we'll take your mails. Before we begin to bring in our analysts from outside, several of them, please do stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the mail segment. I am Usaiti Yari. And Nyefyo Ntia in Lagos, writing on the nullification of Imo State Deputy Governor's impeachment, says, I wish to commend the Owerri High Court Council, particularly the presiding judge, Justice Benjamin Iheka, for the nullification of the Imo State Deputy Governor, Mr. Eze Majumeri's impeachment, on the ground that the impeachment did not follow due process, therefore making it illegal and that it was political. This ruling indeed shows that the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man. However, this ruling should also serve as a deterrent to the political class who want to use backyard and illegal principles to impeach opponents and colleagues just because of little disagreements or selfish interest. Mostly with the way things are going on now, especially among political gladiators, we beg our judiciary to kindly rise to its responsibility by always standing to defend the rule of law as well as doing the needful to sustain our hard-earned democracy. Okochukwuka in Abuja is writing on the Osun supplementary election says, as the good people of Osun State go to the poll again tomorrow to conclude the election of the governor who will lead them for the next 4 years, it is imperative for them to know that the decision they make at the poll will determine whether they will or hail for the next 4 years. To this end, I encourage the electorates in the 7 polling booths where the election will take place to vote for the candidate who will better their lives in the next 4 years and not the person who will buy their votes tomorrow and forget them. The Independent National Electoral Commission should know that tomorrow's supplementary election is the litmus test to appraise its preparedness to conduct the forthcoming 2019 general elections. Therefore, the electoral umpire should do all it can in order to restore the confidence of Nigerians on its ability to conduct free and fair elections. In the same vein, the security agencies should show the highest level of professionalism by being non-partisan in the discharge of their electoral duties. That's where we draw the curtain on the mail segment. The route remains political platform at repower.fm.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, let's quickly make our first stop at the Nigerian Labour Congress Labour House headquarters in Abuja. On the line now with us is Uche Ekwe, head of Nigerian Labour Congress International Department. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, when is the strike commencing? The warning strike, some people are saying it should be this morning. Some others are saying no. It's the morning of Thursday. That's midnight going into Thursday morning.
Yeah, midnight going into Thursday morning.
So why are the workers angry? Why are you embarking on this industrial action?
Yeah, we're angry because the minimum wage, which was reviewed 5 years plus ago, we all knew that it was agreed that it will be reviewed after every 5 years. 2 years ago, we sent a notice to government to remind them that the minimum wage is due. And when eventually we did our proposal, and eventually the government set up a committee to review the minimum wage, representing, having representation from the governors, the federal government, the employers association under an association called National Consultative Assembly of Employees, which representing private sector employees, and of course the organized labor, led by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC. The negotiations have progressed. About the organizations, of course, we made our submission of what we are requesting. The Employers Association made a submission. 21 governors made submission with figures. Others made submission without figures. Now, a meeting was the target, which was agreed by everybody, is that by September, the proposed minimum wage would have been agreed to for onwards, according to the president and subsequent custom and executive deal to be forwarded to the National Assembly for passage into law. And we all set out September as the target to have at least submitted this to the president and waiting consideration from the National Assembly. In last meeting, several meetings have been held, and in those meetings, a draft deal had been prepared, the report had been written, and everybody was waiting that the figures would be agreed on so that this report be submitted to the president. That in that meeting, the government side, led by the co-chair, which is the Minister of Labor, came and said that the meeting had not been postponed for the day, which means no date.
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely. And every other meeting have always adjourned with a new date for meeting. But that particular meeting was adjourned without a date.
So now you want the government, the 3-day warning strike. Is it 3-day warning strike or how many days warning strike?
No, we didn't put a date for the warning strike.
Boy,
We didn't put specific dates.
so indefinite strike or what?
No, warning strike One trial usually goes between 3 to 7 days.
Okay, between 3 to 7 days. Now, what do you expect the government to do to quickly reconvene the meeting and agree on a new minimum wage to be forwarded to the President and to the National Assembly?
Simple. That's what I meant. Reconvene the meeting, let us finish and have an agreement on a figure that will now be sent to the President.
Now, we heard that Labour started at 65,000 naira as minimum wage, but is willing to come down to 45. How true is that?
Well, you see, what we did is that we tried to show what is the actual, what could be taken as actual minimum take home for the least worker. We are not obvious that if we are going to negotiation, we are not going to a negotiation of death and dump, which because
you're ready to compromise.
We are ready to do not compromise. We are ready to listen to the argument, listen to the other sides of the people, and make necessary adjustments, not an adjustment that will have no reality to the situation of the work.
Okay, we just have to thank you so much, Uche Ekwe. We have to continue to engage you, man. Indeed, maybe most definitely tomorrow on this program we'll also reach out to the Minister of Labour and Employment for their own input.
Well, Amechi, I had the opportunity and privilege of covering the Labour beat for almost 3 years during the early part of the Oshomole presidency, 2003, about 2006. And I'll tell you that organized Labour has indeed tried to put the issue of the Nigerian worker on the front burner. But the question that some are also asking Labour now is, why is organized Labour under the platform of the NLC and probably the TUC, the other umbrella body for workers who are a bit senior, why are they not crying now to put the political office holders to task that, look, your pay is too much, the allowances you get are too much? That's some of the questions.
Okay, let's bring in Kola Olobondiyan, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Dr. Anakwe.
You want the INEC chairman and Amina Zakari, National Commissioner, out. Why?
We want them out because they have demonstrated that they have become compromised by the All Progressives Congress. And as such, we look towards an INEC that will be totally independent. I will not be at the beck and call of any of the political parties.
Okay. Before now, you have always said you don't have confidence on INEC. Now you're moving a step further by saying not just a vote of no confidence, but resign.
Yes, before now, we have always said that without the capacity, that is the People's Democratic Party, without the capacity of INEC to deliver on a free, fair, and credible election. But now, with what happened in Osun State, where we raised the flag before the election that they were creating illegal polling units and wards for APC to win election, and they did not respond to us. They moved from there. They allow for the creation of fictitious figures and the deduction of our votes, of our candidates' vote in Osun State. How do we have confidence in such an INEC? So for us in the People's Democratic Party, we believe that both the chairman of INEC and the director in charge of Information and Communication Technology and Operations.
That's the National Commissioner.
Yes, that's the National Commissioner. They should take their exit. So that if truly the government is sincere, let them bring in those that will act credibly and will take maximum control of the situation in INEC so that we can have free, fair, and credible elections.
Okay, Mr. Olobondiyan, will your candidate, Senator Isiaka, rather Ademola Adeleke, participate in tomorrow's supplementary election?
This morning, the People's Democratic Party as a party, because we are futuristic, we are filing our papers in the Federal High Court in Abuja here. But our candidate is at liberty to explore his political interest. But as a party that has lost confidence in INEC, we are going to court to ask the court to compel INEC through an order of to compel INEC to announce the result that they have declared at the polling units, at the wards, and at the local government.
Okay. It's left for the president to initiate the sack of the INEC chairman, the National Assembly, the Senate in specific must also concur. Do you expect the president to initiate this process?
Or do you have the numbers that can get the lawmakers?
Our first expectation is for the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and Mrs. Amina Zakari, to file in their papers for resignation because they cannot conduct an election that is fair and fair.
Okay.
That's what we have called for. We have not asked the president to sack them. We have said that as credible people that represent themselves to be before Nigeria.
Okay. Or you asked the Senate to also start the initiative there. Do you have the numbers there?
We asked what?
The Senate can also begin to initiate the process of the...
We are going to follow this matter on their respective states.
Okay.
We have advised, we have called for the resignation of this principal commissioners of INEC.
Okay. We just...
await their response.
Okay.
When they see, because we have lost confidence.
Okay.
What happened in local Dakotan County?
Okay.
12,000 was declared as winners of the election, and 17 and 19,000 votes were cancelled. In Bauchi South, by election.
Okay. I'm afraid we'll just have to allow you to go this time around.
20,000 votes were cancelled.
We'll do it again subsequently. Thank you so much, Kola Olobondiyan, for your time.
Kola Olobondiyan, clearly they're pushing the position of his party. But I wanted to ask Kola this, that look, the same INEC that he's asking on behalf of his party to for the chairman and the National Commissioner for Operations to resign. Now, the same INEC declared Ademola Adeleke winner in that
senatorial election.
Yes, that time
he wasn't biased.
He wasn't calling for the resignation at this
time. Let's bring in someone who would definitely see it differently. Alester Wilcox, if you can. Okay, I think he's better now. Thank you so much, Alester Wilcox, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mechi, for having me on your program this morning. It's quite gratifying.
Now, I know you're a strong supporter of President Muhammad Buhari. How do you see the position of the PDP on the status of INEC chairman?
I could not laugh when Kola Olobondiyan was talking. The PDP is behaving like a disorientated child who got lost in the middle of nowhere and is just looking for relevance on how to navigate his way out. And disorientation will never help you except you come back to reality, sit down, and then reassess your mental structure, and then, if possible, seek medical advice on how to push forward. It's quite sad that each time PDP lose the election, they call for the head of Mahmoud. And you took the word out of my mouth. This is the same INEC and Mahmoud, Professor Mahmoud, that declared this Adeleke as the winner of the senatorial election. It held in Oshun, and they never call for the start, or it didn't call for the start of INEC. So each time PDP lose the election, that's why they are just a whipping child who gets irritated at every point of our national life. Rather than PDP see the good thing for the first time in the history of our democracy, for the first time that we have an election that looks so credible to the point that the election gets to the wire, whereby the difference in the vote of a winning candidate is not to write them about. And that just shows you how much work INEC has done in this respect. And a party that's supposed to have champion democracy and was in power for 16 years and could not get a good INEC and could not get a formidable INEC to this kind of work is now seen under government getting an INEC that will do this kind of work. And they're complaining. Now, Mr. Amechi, each time you guys talk about this election, you only talk about the recent Kogi election. Why are you guys keeping the election that could have made Faleke the governor of Kogi State, where there was a lead of 41,000 votes by Audu, the late Audu, and INEC still called for a run because there was 49,000 votes that were cancelled, and they felt they could not declare a winner, even though the lead was so massive. What about that of in Imo State, whereby the vote margin was so wide, and yet INEC declared inconclusive. Nobody talks about that. Every day we hear about Kogi of yesterday. Look, there is an issue in this country. We must not all be on the same side, but the fact remains that we must all protect Nigeria. And PDP is just being a whipping child, and it's not helping matters because we are moving to the right direction.
So you think Amina Zakari and Mahmoud Yakubu are doing wonderful job and must remain on seats?
No. What I'm saying in essence is this. Who appointed Amina Zakari? Let's first go back to history. It was not appointed by Buhari. He was only reappointed by Buhari in this administration. Now, Amina Zakari has been in INEC appointed by the former administration. And President Mahmoud has came in, and since he came in, every election that he has conducted has a very higher level of credibility than what all the other. That each time they lose election, they cry about the call for the head of. They lost in Ekiti. They cry for the head of Mahmoud and Amina. Is Amina and Mahmoud the only commissioners in INEC? There are about 13 commissioners in INEC. There are about 13 commissioners in INEC.
Okay.
So why are they singling out only these two?
We have to.
And moreover, they did not conduct the election. There was an election in Oshu.
Okay. We just have to thank you so much, Lester Wilcox.
I think we should try and get this country better. I mean,
Thank you so much for weighing in, and we appreciate your input.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, Mitch.
Okay, you can hear it from both sides. When we return tomorrow, we'll continue. That will be day of the elections. We'll be taking you live to Oshobo for updates, and indeed 7 other polling units where supplementary elections will be holding. My name is Amechi Anapo. Have a good time.